Welcome everybody to another interview. We are here with Johnson and Dan. They're the creators or developers with the crazy Corgi game. Future DDS here. I screwed up the name of this title so much. I recorded this interview about a week ago, and yes, I'm wearing the same shirt. Ironically, I didn't plan that. Either way, I'm going to have a counter in the bottom left, right here, bottom left, right there. How many times I screw up the name of the game? It is not a crazy Corgi game. It's a Corgi's Cozy Hike. That's the name of the game. Had to think about it because I almost messed it up again. But yeah, shout out to the developers for not snapping on me for getting the name of the game wrong. So back to the interview. That if you guys have not heard about it, it was on Kickstarter. They've been at I think PAX East and PAX West. They have like this dope booth that has like a sign that says Corgi Street or something like that. I remember all that. But welcome, Johnson and Dan. How are y'all feeling today, and how are y'all doing?
We're pretty excited. We're hyped up and
Yeah.
ready for this this show, and we're excited to talk to you.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome, awesome, man. Well, just introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about Crazy Corgi Games. I've seen a lot of video of it, but I want to have you guys tell a little bit about it and just introduce yourselves.
Well, yeah, I'm Dan. I'm the creator of our company. We make games that donate to animal shelters, and A Corgi's Cozy Hike is our upcoming therapeutic adventure around a bite-sized open-world island where you're a corgi. You get to do corgi things and enjoy just living life like a dog and get superpowers to glide and climb your way up the mountain and show everyone who's boss.
Yeah, and I'm Johnson, and I do all the art, and it's fun. Yeah.
Man, so I remember you guys started on like Kickstarter at first, and how was that process like of I guess coming up with a game? You're like, okay, hey, we want to make a game. Let's make a Corgi game, and then let's even make it where we donate to the animal shelters. Like, how was that whole process of coming up with the game? Was that always a dream of yours, or how did that work?
Yeah, well, I always loved 3D platformers growing up, like Banjo-Kazooie and Spyro, so I always wanted to make a 3D platformer. But I also didn't like how there was, like, unnecessary violence in games. And so I finally played a short hike, and that showed me this, like, oh, little bite-sized open-world adventure. It's very much just a cozy experience. No violence, no enemies. Just go up, climb a mountain. And so I decided that we would give this game a try. We've made 2 mobile games in the past, and both of those donated to animal shelters. And so we always wanted to make a Steam game, and I guess this is just what we decided to start working on, and then progress went along smoothly, and people started liking what we did, and so we kept on going.
Awesome, awesome. That's pretty cool because I know there is a lot of violence in video games, whether it be even the 2D platformers like Mario and things like that. They still have violence in it. We don't, growing up we didn't see it as violence, but it was
Yeah.
violence. But
Yeah.
that's really cool that you saw played a short hike and then you're like, oh, I could do a game just like that. And also for Johnson, I know you said you did the art for the game.
Yeah.
How did you come about making the art in this style? Like, what was the inspiration and things like that?
Well, definitely a short hike and other low poly stuff. Like this, I learned like 3D modeling like right as we were starting to make this new project too. And I come from like a 2D background, so wrapping my head around this whole 3D concept was like a huge struggle for me. Like I'm still struggling now, but it's not as much. And I just like came up with something that just worked with, like how do you make like a like a four-legged creature in the lowest amount of polygons as I can. And we just kept like changing things. Like we have like YouTube shorts of like what our game looked like the first day and first week, and like, oh my gosh, the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like this is like with game dev, it's so hard to like pre-plan every single thing. Like even if you go into the project thinking like, oh, the game will look like this, it never ends up looking like that. And it's constantly shifting. It's like such like an organic process. And I advise everyone to do it if you have the mental stamina to do it, because you'll learn a lot about yourself in the process.
Right. That's a
Yeah.
very very good point, because you're saying that games, no game ever starts out looking the way that they look at the end. I
Yeah.
think I said that right.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
that's crazy to think that. How long have you guys been working on this game?
We started a little over a year ago,
Yeah.
like a year and 3 months ago.
Okay, so a year and 3 months ago, you guys have already had the successful Kickstarter. You guys have been at PAX. Like I said, if I remember correctly, the PAX East and PAX West. You guys have
Yeah.
been at both PAXes. You guys have put it on Steam as a coming soon title. It's coming out Q3 of 2024. How excited are you to know that you accomplished so much in so little time? Because some games take years and years, and we're still waiting on Grand
Yeah.
Theft Auto 6 to
I
finally
know.
drop.
Yeah.
So how does it feel to finally be at the finish line, so to speak?
Well, it definitely. I'm excited we can make progress so quickly. That's for sure. Because I don't know if we could spend 6 years making something. I feel like that
Yeah.
takes so long. I'd go crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, we can't really afford to like
yeah.
span out the project in like time.
Yeah, that's another thing. We're trying to keep it small and keep the scope, just what it needs to be, because
Yeah.
we want to like get the game out there and donate to animal shelters, right? And if you just spend 6 years developing it, you're not going to do any donations,
Yeah.
And so we're always going to make more games. So
Yeah.
we figure we'll get this one out quick, see how people like it, and we'll make the next game after.
Yeah.
It also does not feel like we're approaching the finish line. I feel like there's so much left to do, but we are, doing a good job. You can play our tech demo on Steam already, and people love playing that. People spent like over an hour on it. Some people like 2 or 3 hours. So that's good, because we were only aiming for like 2 hours to beat the game and like 8 hours to 100%.
That's always got to feel good when you're like, okay, it's just a demo, and then got people playing 3 hours. That means one, they're having fun, which is always a good thing. And I do want to touch a little bit more about the animal shelter before I forget. I know I'm going to forget about it, but the animal shelter part, that's kind of near and dear to me, because as we had in the email, we talked about my dog Gambit. For those of you that don't know, we had a dog named Gambit. We rescued at the ASPCA in New Orleans in 2011. He passed away about 2 weeks ago, so that was obviously a tough time there. But to know that you guys are donating to animal shelters, and there's a ton of animal shelters that need help, that need donations, whether it be dog food, cat food, beddings, whatever. So how did you guys decide to add that into the aspect of the game as far as donating to animal shelters? Like what inspired that move?
Well, I grew up with cats, and I always loved animals growing up. And then, I, met a few people who were fostering animals, fostering dogs specifically, from the organization we usually work with, Dog on Seattle. And I really learned how hard it is for a lot of dogs to get adopted, and the medical costs associated with it, and training or whatever they need, like things like laundry costs so much, and people don't think about stuff like that. And I was looking at Dog on Seattle and seeing how they're such a small organization, and how they could use, so much more help. And then in the meantime, I was looking at like mobile games and games in general, and seeing how much money they made and where did it all go, just to some like CEO's pocket, And so I was like, we can do something like that, except for funnel the money to help real dogs, since I think animals help us so much. I know you know that, and I just like the unconditional love they give us. I just wanted to create a way for people to give that back to them.
That's very nice. 'Cause, yeah, animals have done a lot for us. Even in our worst days, they see us at our lowest of the lows, and they're still like, "Are you okay? You good?" So
Yeah.
that's really cool. And
Yeah.
Johnson, I did want to ask you because Dan brought up about how people are playing the game for 2 to 3 hours. I gotta ask, like, how does that make you feel knowing that people are? Because some people they pick up a game, they're like, oh, the artwork sucks, and then they drop the game right away.
Oh yeah.
But to know people are picking up your game, looking at the artwork, and they're going, oh, this game is so amazing, and they're playing it 2 to 3 hours just on the demo. Like, how does that make you feel a little bit?
Um. Well, I don't really take compliments. That's the thing. Yeah, I've had like I'm like, what is it? I'm like 31 right now, and I've been through so many periods of like um not never being able to finish a single thing to finally finishing things. And one of the things that helped me like get past the wall is like putting my ego to the side. And now I'm at a point where I just am afraid to take any compliments because I it would make me feel like I have like nothing left to learn. So it's a learning process because I know that I should still, listen to people's compliments because, it does mean something to people already, even though the game is not released yet. And their feelings matter. So like I'm still processing things. Like even though like we had like so much people like waiting for to play our game at PAX, it it's still kicking in. It's still kicking in. I just cannot believe that this many people are crazy about it. It's yeah.
Yeah, and it's fun to like watch people stream it,
Yeah.
and we love like joining the streams and just watching people play, and our like Discord users have fun like interacting with them too.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to see like these little moments that we put in the game. It's like, are people gonna find it? Or
Yeah.
especially because it's open world, so you don't know. I don't know where people are gonna go exactly. I try to like guide people, but it's fun whenever they see like a certain event and they're like, oh, I got to interact with that.
Yeah. And the other thing too, I never thought about like working in the game industry ever. Like maybe as like a concept artist, but not like an animator and rigger and a 3D modeler and all these other things.
Yeah, like he only ever did 2D things.
Yeah.
Until this game.
Yeah. Yeah. And I never wanted even to be in the game industry. But here I am, living some kind of weird dream. It's like a Twilight Zone.
Right, right. Well, congratulations on living that dream because that was something I did want to ask both of you about how to get into the game industry because I think that's amazing. You guys, I'm about to say hour, a year and 3 months. Making this game, working on this game, and you got a line at PAX East, PAX West, people enjoying the game on streams and things like that. Like that had to really feel amazing. But how does someone get into the gaming industry? Let's say, like you said, you just work on 2D before you got into the 3D. How did you go from learning 2D to 3D, or how would you just advise someone that they who said they want to get into the game industry? How would you advise them to do that?
Well, one of the things that, because a lot of people approach us asking that same question too at PAX, especially, like a lot of people who come up to us and ask us that question, they're already in school for game development or whatever, game design, and they're always like looking for a job. But one of the problems I always see people having is like not having a project already set. Like are you constantly like working on your skills because that's so important? Like don't get experience, like you gotta have some experience like while like applying for jobs and stuff. Like you should do game jams, you should do all these UI stuff if you're gonna do like game art and stuff. Like you have to have so many different skills. Like I feel like in this like world right now, you can't just rely on one skill, especially as like an indie developer. Yeah, like if you're gonna work at a AAA company, like, sure, you can probably use your one skill, but for us indies, like, we're constantly using, like, so many, like, different hats. Yeah, so, like, one of my biggest advice is always work on your own projects, small projects, whatever. That all that adds up because people will know that, oh, okay, you have experience in Unity because you've suffered for like 50 hours a week.
Yeah.
Like, I can trust you with my project. Yeah, and compared to someone that has never touched Unity or doesn't want to touch Unity unless they're hired.
Yeah, which for me, I started playing around with Unity in 2016. And in 2017, I made a small game just to practice. And, I was never meant to, like, make money. It never did make money. And so, but that, just like the practice of doing it was fun. And I focused on having fun with it. And I think that's the big takeaway. If you don't find it fun to, play around in Unity, I know it's, like, hard sometimes. But, you find YouTube tutorials and you Google things to, like, help you, or chat GPT now.
Yeah, it is. We live in such a great time, too. It's not the 80s, it's not the 90s, it's not the early 2000s. We have so much, like, resources now available for free.
Yeah.
For free. So, like, if you want to do something, just go head first, man.
I love the fact that you said that we're not in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I remember growing up, you have to go to the library, you have to go to the I can't think of what it's called, but you have to pull out the drawer and then flip through the card to find where a book was and things like that. Now it's just YouTube University real quick, Wikipedia, and as you mentioned, Chat GPT. So that's a very, very good point about anything you want to learn. Even if you never cooked before, you can go to YouTube University and learn how to cook now. And I like what you guys said about you wearing a lot of different hats, because as an indie developer, I can't get the word out. As an indie developer, it is tough because not only are you working on the game, like you guys were at PAX, marketing the game, answering questions, then trying to showcase the game. I guess you say a salesperson in a sense as well. So when you talk about learning, using a lot of different hats, what has been the most difficult part about doing that?
Well, for me, I would say the marketing or, like, social side, like, I'm more of an introvert for sure. I definitely recharge my social battery by being alone for a while. And if I don't get in the habit of, like, being social, it's easy for me to, like, get out of the habit. And then it's hard for me to, like, start back up or something. And I know marketing is, a big pillar of, getting this to be a successful business.
Yeah.
And so that's why, Johnson's so helpful, because he's more of a social butterfly, I guess.
Yeah, I think we just got lucky with being, like, having, like, the right people, like this 2-person team. Yeah, like, whenever, like, we go to, like, a big social gathering or like a party where there are a bunch of influencers and stuff, like, I love to party, so, like, that's when I can throw my hat onto the dance floor and then, like, impress people and stuff. I think marketing is the toughest part as game devs, like indie game devs especially. And, like, I feel like that's a much harder job to do than the actual game development. Like, oh my.
Yeah, because, like, whenever I'm, like, making a feature or something, it's fun,
Yeah.
Like, occasionally you have to work on something that you don't want to, that you've been putting off, like a bad bug or something, but most of the time it's like, ooh, I'm gonna make the corgi, grow flowers whenever he's wet. And it's just like, oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But, like, posting about it on Reddit and then having people say, oh, it looks horrible, what are you doing? No, we don't get that too much. But,
yeah. Yeah.
It's always a fear,
Yeah, the marketing part is the hardest. Like, the Kickstarter that we had, every single day we were, like, engaging with, like, like, our friends, our fan base and stuff, like, every single day, like, every hour, and we're constantly posting things on social media, and we have to like we're trying to work smarter too. So like, what do we do? What do we post today? It's like 5 o'clock. People are getting home from work. What do they want to see? Like, we're constantly thinking that while trying to like be like, I'm a game artist, or like I'm a programmer. it's so much juggling. We're running a circus. Hello.
Yeah.
That,
The
that
Kickstarter
is,
was fun too,
Yeah.
but man, it was stressful.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's so true about marketing because we as obviously as a content creator, I
Yes.
know exactly what you guys are going through.
Oh yeah.
You're like,
I bet.
yeah.
I
Because
bet.
you're like, okay, if I post this short at this time, it's going to get this much traction. It does become tedious, but one thing I've learned about it is just look. There's always going to be a hater. There's always going to be somebody that love it. Just post it
Yeah.
and let it go. It's tough though. You have to have that what they call
Yeah.
it, like a hard shell, outer shell, where the
Yeah.
insults don't get to you.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I know.
Exactly.
I know you guys also talk. I think Dan or Johnson. No, Johnson talking about working on old projects. Make sure you're still using Unreal
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, do you guys have any old projects that you may turn into the next game?
Yeah. We've yeah.
Yeah.
We were shuffling through ideas because we reached a point like after our second mobile game where we wanted to go away, move out of the mobile game space. So we were workshopping ideas and stuff. Like we were working on like a VR game.
Mhm.
Yeah, for example, where you can like play with a dog. It's like Nintendogs, but in VR. And yeah, with 2D graphics and stuff. But we were seeing that the VR space market was not like so big yet, and we just needed to make a game that would be profitable like right now, and more of something that we want to do. So this is perfect.
Yeah, we have a lot of ideas in the background, and our mobile games that are still on iOS. We'd like to go back and add a few more things to them and get them back on Google as well. But
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So the Cozy Corgi game, it comes out Q3 2024. You guys have an exact date yet? Or are you still kind of playing around with the date?
well, we don't have a date yet, but it's definitely going to be this year. So look forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. And is there anything else you want to tell people about the game as far as why they should play it and why it'll be a fun time to play it?
Well, you get to be a dog, Like, why would you not want to be a dog for a minute? Get rid of those human stresses and just be a dog, go after, play fetch, get pet, and, poop and eat it,
You caught me off guard on that one.
You caught me off guard. Yeah.
That's people's favorite thing to do, funny enough.
Yeah, that's our elevator pitch at PAX. And you can poop.
How many games let you poop?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ironically, not a lot. Only games I can think is The Sims and another indie game that I've been playing, Two Pistolia. Those are the only two games I totally remember where I was like, oh yeah, I gotta go poop. Yeah.
Yeah. But can you eat it?
Can you eat it? Yeah. I don't think The Sims let you eat it.
I don't think I want to do that part of the game.
Yeah.
That's what people say, but then we look and we see the stats.
Okay,
There's a lot
don't
of
look at my
eaters.
stats, okay?
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for taking the time to sit down and tell us a little bit more about the Crazy Corgi game. And where can everybody find you?
Well, definitely Twitter. Find us on Twitter, Rescue Pets Game. And we are trying to grow our Discord community as well. And everybody in there is wholesome. We just kick out ones that are negative. and not good for kids. Yeah. Yeah, because we're trying to make it wholesome. Yeah, Twitter and Discord.
Oh yeah, we do have other channels, but those are the ones we use the most.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay, cool. Well, I definitely appreciate you guys for taking the time to sit down to tell us a little bit more about the Crazy Corgi game. I'm definitely gonna dive into it. It's called a Corgi's Cozy High. I've been saying that the whole time. The crazy, because I was in the email looking at it, the Crazy Corgi game. I apologize. The game.
Oh no.
Is a Corgi's Cozy Hike.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I had pulled up the Steam and everything. That's why I kept looking over here because I'm looking at trying to figure out questions, and then I look at the end of the interview. I find out the name is actually a Corgi Cozy Height.
Oh no,
Can't say that 5 times fast.
I totally thought you were like, oh, like it's a crazy game.
It is crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, yes, it is. It is. You're not wrong.
I mean, you're talking about eating poop, so yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I will definitely be playing a Corgi's Cozy Hike for sure.
It is a tongue twister.
Yeah, I'm definitely
Yeah.
sure that's explained somewhere on a graphic or something.
Yeah.
But no, thank you guys so much for taking the time to sit down and tell us a little bit more about the game. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'll be playing the demo and throwing it on YouTube as well. But I actually didn't know the demo was out, but I just remember seeing you guys at PAX, and I just remember that sign, that Corgi Street sign.
Yeah.
My wife was immediately enamored by it. So,
good.
so I was like, oh,
Yeah.
well, they emailed me. Let me just see if I can get an interview because I couldn't go to PAX, but.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
But thank
Okay,
you guys
yeah.
so much, and definitely appreciate y'all. I'm gonna let you go recharge your social battery. but thank y'all so much, and y'all have a good one. We'll be back again with another interview real soon.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.